Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited for today's video because it is my last ranking video for the month. So if you're new here, I am really bad at ranking. They stress me out a lot. I am an autistic Libra with OCD, like making decisions is hard. But I challenged myself to rank all of the palettes from every brand I have multiple from. So anybody I had like 4 or more palettes from, I wanted to do a ranking video for. And this is my last one, and it's one of my favorite brands, Pat McGrath. This was hard. I love all of these. This was, like, I knew what the top couple would be, and I knew what the bottom couple would be, but everything in the middle was very difficult. But I did it. I ranked all 16 of my Pat McGrath palettes, and I'm excited to see what y'all think. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Colin. I'm a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup. The definite soft spot for indie makeup and high-end makeup, obviously. And I tend to take a pretty analytical approach to the content I make, be it reviewing a brand new product or using products I already know and love. I just try to make thoughtful, analytical content, and I have new videos every week, so I'd love to have you subscribe. Okay, so this is my last ranking for December. This is going up in a couple days. It is Christmas Eve right now, and I meant to film it this week, but I just had a lot of like pre-Christmas things going on. And today is a very calm day, so I'm gonna get a couple things done today and then basically be done for the rest of the year, which is very nice. Like I said, this was very hard to do. I have 16 Pat palettes. I have almost all of the motherships. I have 3 of her holiday palettes, and then I have some quads. I did mix everything up because I feel like I could just rank the motherships, that's most of this, but then like I don't have enough quads to do just a quad ranking. The holiday palettes, I only have a few of them, so like there's just not enough to do a ranking for those individual categories. So I was just like, let's do all of it in one, all Pat McGrath. And if you're curious about my makeup, I am wearing one of the palettes on my eyes. We'll talk about that when we get there. And then I just did some quick makeup. I don't think I did enough moisturizer today, so I'm not loving my skin today, but I did wear Pat's foundation. It is one of my favorite foundations. It's very skin-like. I have it just around here where I needed some coverage, and then I have some under eye concealer on, and then I used my Victoria Beckham bronzer because I don't have the Pat McGrath ones. I was tempted to buy them this summer, but I had too many other bronzers coming in to my life, and I was like, I just don't need to spend the money on them. And then I have Pat McGrath blush on. This is Paradise Venus, which is my favorite blush of hers, although I do want Desert Orchid. And then I threw on one of my Pat McGrath glosses. This is a mini in Flush 6, kind of like a reddy nude. Really like this. I will say it's been a little while since I wore this, and if you like this lip gloss formula, I think you will like the Trixie Cosmetics gloss as well, which are significantly cheaper. These feel pretty similar. Okay, so with makeup details out of the way, I do want to give a caveat that I like all of these. I don't want to declutter any of them. The ones at the bottom they're generally because color story versus formula. So it's like the color story is just like, it's more of a companion palette, or it's something like I don't reach for as much. A lot of the lower half of this is things that I think it's pretty, I like it, but there's something that makes it not quite perfect. And then the top half is like, I love these a lot. Ranking was hard. And then the top few are like just perfect. Okay, so ranking in 16th place is going to be one of her quints from holiday last year. This is the Celestial Nirvana eyeshadow palette in Nude Allure. I really like these. I think these are a really nice formula. I think the shimmers in here are beautiful, but you get one matte and a bunch of shimmers. So these are really good for travel, or if you want something small or you wanted to try her formula, because you have one matte that you can put in your crease, and then you've got kind of a highlighty shade for your inner corner if you want it, and then 3 shimmers to pick from. But because there's only one matte and it's small and you're basically gonna get one of 3 looks with this, and this had to go at the bottom just because of the versatility of it, but I do really like this. I think it's a nice everyday work kind of palette. But really, this is the one I mostly am grabbing for, you know, this shimmer, but do really like this. These are really nice. I don't have too many of the quints, but I do think the quints are a great deal, and there's other ones that I wanted, I just didn't buy because I can't buy everything I want. Oh, I also have 2 of her potted shadows, the Chromolux. Did not include those because those are a single shadow and not a palette, obviously, and I am gonna be buying some of the new ones. I'm just not 100% if I'm buying all of them or just like 4 of them. Because there's like 4 that I'm like, for sure I want that. And then there's 2 where it's like, I like it, but is it too similar to one I already have? But then the bundle price is really good, especially on sale. I'll have bought them before this video goes up, but we'll see. So if you want a video on those, I'll probably have one sometime in early January. And then in 15th place, after that tangent, is going to be Bronze Bliss, which is the other 5 pan I have. And this outranked the other one because I like the shimmers in this more. They're a little more neutral, they're a little more smoky, but it only has this dark charcoal shade, almost black. So that is a downside to this, but what I do is, especially when I've traveled with this, I just put bronzer in my crease, which is what I do a lot anyway. So it makes a really good natural transition shade for any look because you're already putting it on your face. It looks natural to your, like native to your skin if you have a good bronzer. So it just adds a little bit of a buffer there to blend other stuff into. I did that again today. So then this would just be to smoke it out. But I really love these 2 shimmers in particular. Especially this one, just really beautiful kind of antique-y bronze. So really like this, just versatility wise, it had to be at the bottom. The next spot, number, what is this, 14, is going to go to last year's holiday palette. This is the Celestial Nirvana palette. I do really like this, but it's just not a color story I grab for that much. I didn't buy this year's. I didn't like the whole blush eyeshadow combo, and I just didn't feel the need for them. Neither was like perfect, but I was really excited last year when I got this because having colorful mattes in Pat's formula just makes me excited. And I do think these are good. I think it's normal Pat McGrath quality. I know some people said that the mattes worked badly. Part of that I think is how you use them and the brush you use. I think that in general with Pat's mattes, because they're pretty pigmented, but they do sheer out really nicely, versus another palette, like another brand where it's buildable from sheer to pigment. These start a little more pigmented, but if you use the right tools, you can sheer them out. I think these true neutrally taupe and brown shades right here are really good options from Pat. I love the shimmers in this palette, and I like having a blue, purple, and green in her formula. I don't really wear pinky reds very much, so having these colors in her formula is nice. I don't want to get rid of this, but it's one of my least reached for palettes from her, so it just had to be at the bottom. I'm hoping that the lighting is okay today. It's overcast and very, very gray, but not like the gloomy, dark, is it nighttime gloom that we get here in Seattle. It's like a light gray, like it looks like it's gonna snow. So hopefully the lighting's okay. I didn't pull out my giant lights because it felt bright enough, but it is 2 o'clock, so it's gonna start getting dark here in like an hour. So I should be done with filming by then, but you know, there might be some weird lighting shifts. Okay, so next is going to be one of my quads from Pat. This is the Voyeuristic Vixen. Voyeuristic Vixen. She likes alliteration, which is, you know, a tongue twister sometimes. I got the re-release of this, and I really love this. I think this is an amazing quad, but because it is a quad and there's one matte, you're kind of limited. So you've got one really nice matte, although it does pull a little more red on me than I would like. You've got a champagne, you know, inner corner highlight, face highlight kind of shade, very pale, more satin. And then you've got two metallics, a really nice bronze, like a lighter bronze, and then this really beautiful textured duochrome. So you can either, you know, if you really want a soft look, you could use this on the lid, but you've got basically two lid shades. So you've got like two looks in here, and I adore those looks, but you only have two, which is why this is lower, just because, again, versatility-wise, like you can only really do two things, not a whole bunch. So while it's pretty, it's just limiting. Okay, so next, I've already forgot what number I'm on, but next is gonna be kind of controversial, and it is going to be Moonlit Seduction. This is a lot of people's favorites. This was a lot of people's like first Pat McGrath palette and what really like catapulted her brand. Like it didn't catapult her, she was already famous as a makeup artist, but this is like, I feel like where her brand like got a little more widespread attention. And I do really like this palette, but I don't grab it that much. So this is the palette. I think this is a really beautiful palette, but don't really wear red eyeshadow. I have worn this twice maybe. I do like this rose gold shade, and I do really like these toppers. This one is kind of like chrome, lime chrome from Natasha Denona. Is that the name? I don't know, but that like green gold duochrome. When I grab it, I'm generally grabbing for these two shades here. The mattes in here are nice. I do like this really dark purple. I've used that a lot. And I do like these two shimmers, especially the color of this one. I don't remember the name of it right now. Let me look. This is Guilty Pleasure. I really like the color of it, but it's such a thin formula. It's a little dry. You can see it looks like it might have a little bit of hard pan. It doesn't pick up very well. So if I want a sheer kind of taupey sparkle look, like a little bit of bronzer and that, I do grab that shade for that, but it doesn't have the same impact as most of her other ones. And I just don't grab rose gold or red very often. So this just had to go lower just because of usage wise. I'm gonna hold up the boxes for all of them. The next palette is her newest palette, and it is Moonlit Seduction. I really enjoy this, but it is just a warm neutral palette. I did buy this at launch, but I had a gift card. So I had a $100 Sephora gift card, so I only had to pay $30 for it, and I'm very happy with it for $30. Even if I got it like 30-40% off, I think I would be happy with it still. I wouldn't be happy at $129 or whatever it is. Really love this though. I don't really use this pink shade, but I think this is a really great transition shade on me. This is a nice, slightly smoky shade. These two shimmers are great. This one's a little darker and smokier. This one's a little more copper and bright. I've grabbed these a lot this fall for one and done looks for work, like throwing this and like these two shades on, go to work, call it a day. And then the special shades in here are really pretty, but not as pretty as they could be. So I don't think I have a whole video on this. I think it's overly hated, but really, really love this. What is the word I'm thinking of? Peachy. This peachy one, I really love this peachy one. This pink one is also gorgeous. I just don't really like pink eyeshadow that much, but when I want a pink, this is one I'm gonna grab. This dark red is really pretty. I just, again, don't wear red very often, but it has a slight burnt base, so it looks really cool. And then this lilac shade is subtle and not super sparkly, so I wouldn't think of this as a special shade. It's a little special, especially if you put it over a sticky primer, but also really pretty. So I have actually like these two shades, and then like these three are what I grab this for the most, which is why it's lower. So while I do really like it and think that it's, you know, still a solid palette, I think the quality is still good, and I think it's much more hated than it should be. It's still not my favorite or my most used. Okay, now that I've been sitting for a while, because I had lunch before I actually started filming, and my makeup's kind of settled, I am really liking the way my skin looks. Next is gonna be her first big holiday palette, and that is Celestial Divinity. I didn't get this at launch, and I'm glad I didn't. This was actually a present from a friend, and I really like this palette. I think the whole sticker on the front, it feels cheap, and I don't like the packaging as much as the others. But I do think this is a really beautiful palette, and the shades in here are really great. So 2 of these 6-pan sections were holiday, like Star Wars palettes. She just combined those and added some new ones. I think it's like that one and this one in the middle are new. And my problem with this is that you have 3 mattes, so you have a pale pink that I don't want to ever use. I've used it once or twice, and that's good. You've got a plummy purple, which is pretty, and then you've got a deep mahogany. I just don't like the matte selection very much in here, but the shimmers are really pretty. So I kind of think of this as a selection of shimmers. So I'll throw a bronzer or something on my crease, or use my Surratt quad, the Beyond Beige quad. I'll use like that, and then I'll grab one of these shimmers to use. And they're really beautiful. So really grateful I have this, but like packaging wise and then matte selection wise, knocked this down, but it is really beautiful. I almost wore this today. So next is going to be an older palette. It was recently brought back, spoiler. Think it probably sold out again already. And I'm very happy I got it in a recent restock, and it is Decadence. So this is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. And I am so happy I finally got this. I did have to pay like $100. I barely got a discount on this, but I still love it and I'm still happy with it. So I'm wearing the 2 blue shades. So I don't remember the names. This is Lapis Luxury, I believe. I don't remember the dark blue. Yeah, Lapis Luxury and Underworld. I don't like the box for this. Like, you know, let's see, my hands are. The rest of them have this like tie thing here, which, you know, it's a vibe, it's a thing. Whatever. This, I thought had that, but no, it's a picture. Why is it just the crown with these things there if they're not there? That drives me insane. And then it opens here. I think the Star Wars version had a normal box, and that was restocked, but I just bought this a few months ago, so I was like, no, I'm not buying the second one for a different packaging. But yeah, that drives me insane. But I love the colors. This is all of her metallic formula. I really love her standard metallic formula. I think it's one of the best out there. And there's a siren. Okay, the siren is gone. I love her metallic formula. I think it's one of the best out there. Like this, I put Lapis Luxury all over my lid with a big Rephr brush and buffed the edges, and it diffused beautifully. It is a little shinier than Underworld, and then I used Underworld on the outer V and diffused it out here, and that's it. I did end up putting a little bit of an inner corner highlight. Actually, I grabbed it from one of these, just because it was sitting in front of me. I could have used like this pale blue or done contrasting with this like pale kind of yellow gold, green gold, but I just really love it. I think this is a beautiful formula, and I'm really happy to have some of these shades finally. Blue Blood is in a quad already, but having like these smoky taupes and these like coppers, I really love this, and I'm so happy I finally got it. It was one of those like wanted it forever. It was never in stock when I had the budget for it, and then it finally was there, and I was like, I'm just doing it. Okay, next is going to be Utopian Dream. This is probably also kind of controversial because people were mad when this got launched. I mean, the packaging is very rainbowy and colorful. It is predominantly pink though, but it has that rainbow on it with the flying saucer. And I get where she's coming from, but I love this palette. This almost ranked higher, but it's just like, this was one of those that was really hard to place. And the reason it ranked a little bit lower is the matte colors selection. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. There was a dog barking in the hallway. The matte selection is what knocked this down. I really love this Vibrant Coral. This is also a really pretty blush because it's an artistry palette. You can use it all over your face. So you've got kind of a mauve-y leaning shade here, and then this like rosy brown here. This doesn't go dark enough for me. I wish this was darker. But that's it. This is a really pretty kind of pinky coral. This bronze is one of the best ones she's done. There's almost always a bronze and a gold in every palette, and then like some kind of champagne in every palette. That's just her thing. But I don't care. I really like this bronze. This multi-chrome is pretty. It's not the best multi-chrome I have in my collection, but it's a really pretty bronze, pink, gold hybrid. This shade I've used once, but I grab it for these shimmers quite a bit. If you know me, you know I love blue and purple. So this blue-purple, like duochrome, super glittery special topper shade, beautiful. And then this one is like a pink, gold, green shift with a little bit of that, like you can see some peach in there. These are just super special. I love these. I've often done another look, like a more simple, like bronzy look or just, you know, whatever, and then thrown these on top. I love these. And those two special shades are why this is as high as it is. Okay, so next it's gonna be my other quad, and this is the Interstellar Icon quad. I love this. This is her old quad format, so the pans are bigger. This has blue blood, just like Decadence. So this doesn't have a matte, but blue blood you could wear all over as like a satin one and done. You can use it as a matte, really like that. You've got a blue-purple duochrome here that's really beautiful, less sparkly than the one from Utopian, but like just beautiful. I almost wore this today too. And then you've got a nice kind of pinky champagne here. And then this really beautiful taupey brown bronze. Love this as a one and done. Like I won't even use blue blood. I'll literally just put this all over the lid, blend the edges, maybe have some bronzer there. Love this. I've traveled with this because if I want something like a little more special or smoky, this is easy to take. So this had to be pretty high up. I would love to see like an expansion of that into a 6-pan or a mothership or something. I think that would be really cool. Not a mothership, and it is my favorite of her holiday palettes, and it is Celestial Odyssey. So I love this so much that I bought my best friend for Christmas 2 years ago. I love this. I think this is the best holiday launch she's ever done. The color story is great. I think it's weird to have the logo in the middle with this dead space, but that's beside the point. The packaging was an upgrade. It still got the ribbon and the flap. It's got a really big mirror. It's got the black lacquered inside to make it feel a little bit more luxe. You've got 4 mattes. You've got a light brown, a darker brown, a coral, and a pink. Kind of a rose. I wish this rose was a little darker since you have the more corally shade here. And then I adore the shimmers in here. So you've got a sparkly black, which I love. I almost wore that today too. I was having a hard time deciding my tour. You've got a nice brownie bronze. You've got this really pretty taupe, really beautiful green, blue, pale lilac. You've got a yellow gold. And then this shade here, Bronze Nova, I wore this every day for weeks and then didn't use it for a while because I used it so much. And then I came back to it and used it every day again for a while, and then I still use it sometimes. I love this shade. It's like my perfect, I don't want to swatch things, but it's just a really beautiful bronze with a little bit of just something special to it. It's just really beautiful. There's a little bit of a copper flip to it. So it's like bronze with a little bit of that reddy copper. I just love it. It's so good. Okay, I didn't want to swatch things because I don't want to get shimmer everywhere, but I think it'll be fine. So we're in the top 5. And I'm sure some of you will know what the top couple will be. I'm curious to see if you'll guess the top 5 correctly. So, number 5 is going to be my newest edition that I got a month or two. I think I only got this like 2 months ago. but it's already become a favorite. And that's Mothership 2 Sublime. This is a basic neutral palette, but with a little special twist. So it's a warm neutral palette. If you were just considering the like 6 main shades, so Pat's palettes, you've got the highlight shade, the darker shade, you've got 1 or 2 mattes in this area, and then some shimmers, and then you've got the special shades. If you just look at the 6 regular palettes, I mean, that's a beautiful color story. So you've got a dark brown that you can sheer. If you use a fluffy brush, you can sheer this out and it can be a transition shade. Maybe not on someone super, super pale. I would use like your bronzer or something, but for me, or someone a light medium shade, I think you could totally buff this out. You've got a black, and then you've got this really beautiful copper, but like not as foiled as some of her other coppers, so it's like a little easier to wear. You've got a really beautiful bronze, really beautiful like rosy shade, like rosy mauve. This is like the pink that I would want to wear, you know. You've got a really pretty gold. That's fine. The green here, beautiful. Green is my other favorite color. Works well against my olive undertone. I adore this green, and it has a blackened kind of purple base to me. So like when I wear this, I almost wore this again today too. You can see like on the edges, I just put it all over the lid, maybe a little bit of this, but like this is the only shimmer, and it looks like I have like a blackened purple out here, and then the green, and then when the light hits it, you really see the sparkle. It's so pretty. The special shades are really beautiful. Over here, these 2 more iridescent shades. This is a duochrome that's like a peach to a pink, and this is just an iridescent pink. Really like those. If I want pink, I want something like this. I don't want like hot baby pink molten shimmer. I want like pink sparkles to put over something. So really love this. Really happy I finally got it. And I got it for $66, which is a steal. It was on sale at Sephora for $77 and or something like that. And I had a random like $10 or something gift card from Sephora, and I was like doing it, buying it, just doing it. And zero regrets. And zero regrets. Okay, so next is going to be number 4. And that's gonna go to last year's Mothership, Moonlit Seduction. I love this palette. There are some little things that I would maybe change, but I love this. So you've got champagne, you've got a charcoal. The mattes in here are really beautiful. I use the rosewood shade, the like rosy brown, more than I use the plum shade, but I do like the plum shade. The 2 metallics in here are like a better version of the ones in Bronze Seduction. So you've got a bronze, and then you've got more of a cool tone taupe again, but these are better versions of that. These are creamier, prettier, like, look at that, like, silver taupe. Didn't plan on swatching things, but, you know. Just so pretty for a good smoky eye. This is a really beautiful cool tone palette. She does tend to stay in the, like, pink, let's see, Divine Rose is mauve-y and cool tone, like mauve-y cool neutrals. Divine Rose 2 is like bright pink. She tends to stay though in more warm territory. And this does have some warmth, but it also is very cool. The shimmers, you've got this really sparkly, like iridescent lilac, really sparkly gold, really beautiful multi-chrome. It's kind of that dark plum base, and then it's got taupe and teal shimmer. And then this is just a really pretty pale rose gold. I've grabbed this most for the regular shades over here though, like these shimmers I've grabbed for so many times. I love this. I'm excited to use this more this winter. I think it's a great winter palette. Top 3, and if you know me and you know what I have and what I like, this will be no surprise. Number 3 is gonna be Mothership 3, Subversive. I love this palette so much. So you've got some of my favorite shades. You've got a really dark brown again, but you can sheer it out. A look I've done many times is putting Gigabyte, this beautiful green, gold, put that all over the lid with my finger, and then used a fluffy brush to blend the edges with this. Perfect. Easy, go. Same with Night Creature, really beautiful purple. You've got a purple blue. You've got this purple blue duochrome baked shade here that I love. You've got, again, more pink special shades, and I like these. These look very similar to the ones in Mothership 2, honestly, which is why this is also a little bit higher. And then you've got a sparkly black shade, which I like, a sparkly black smoky eye. I wear that fairly regularly, like a little bit of brown to blend it out, and then just black smoky eye or sparkly black smoky eye. So really love this. A lot of people think of this as too dark and too much for every day, but I disagree. I think you can, if you're smart about it, if you like are clever in the way you use it, I think you could use this, and you like a smoky eye, you could use this every day. If you're someone who puts like a little bit of brown in your crease and that's it for every day, this is not an everyday palette. Also, this packaging, this pink with the smoky eye and I just love it. Okay, so top two, which will be no surprise to anyone. So number 2, these could basically be tied for first, if I'm honest. Number 2, Subliminal. I love this. This is my favorite cool tone palette. You've got my perfect cool tone matte shades here. They're not too cool that they look ashy and like bad, but they are cool toned. So there's a cool tone taupe and a cool tone dark taupe. You've got a black, really good smoky palette. You've got, these are very subtle, like very, very satin, not metallic, but I really like them for every day. So you can go more taupey, like these 2, maybe these 3 for like a quick smoky taupe look. I wear that pretty regularly, or you can mix it up and add a little bit of lilac. Blue, favorite color, love this. Pale gold, another thing I love. And then the special shades in here are so pretty. This lilac shade just all over the lid with like a little bit of one of these tapped on top for that little twinkle. So pretty. I mean, I'm wearing blue, so I can just tap a little of this on. I don't know if you'll see too much of a difference on camera. I definitely see more sparkle now. I love these. And if you're someone who gets a lot of fallout or like has trouble with these, you don't need very much, and then press and let it kind of melt in. Picking up too much and being haphazard is where you get chaos. And then this is the other one. So you've got that warmer base with the red in there too. And then the blue shift. I love these. They're very wet looking. I just love this palette so much. And like I said, it could be tied with the other one, but I didn't want to finish with a tie. I had to pick one favorite. And if I had to pick one favorite, it would be my true favorite and my first ever Mothership, Midnight Sun. It's like the perfect Colin Mothership. People say that this color story is hard, and I don't understand. As long as you're not trying to mix like these 2 shades with the blue or the green, like these 4 shades don't really mix, but outside of that, you're fine. You've got really beautiful bronze, everyday kind of shade, green for the same. It's metallic, but not too shiny. This all over the lid is a really good green smoky eye. My perfect transition shade from Pat. It's warm. It's a warm brown, but it leans a little yellow. So it just works really well with my skin tone. You don't have a black, you have like a dark charcoal, but it's just like a neutral charcoal. I really do like this red shade. And then purple, obviously, green. You've got all my favorite colors. You've got this really beautiful copper, really cool gold. It's like not true gold, but not pale gold. It's kind of in the middle. And then one of my most used shades. This is also in Divine Rose 1, this exact shade, but I love it, and I don't have that palette. It's so sparkly. I grab this all the time as a topper to put on top of other things. So this sits in the front of my palettes. It's it's my favorite palette, and I think it's highly, highly underrated. Okay, so that is my ranking. This took a little longer than I thought it might, but that is my ranking. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you have these? How would you rank them? What do you think of my ranking? All of that. As always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. It helps a lot, and I'll see you in the next video.